Along one of the long walls are three fume hoods to handle volatile or reactive substances. They work by drawing air from the lab and venting it outdoors. When you are working, the glass doors must be kept closed as much as possible. There are two ways to open them. The sash can be lifted up, either manually or automatically, or you can slide the glass door sideways. If too many doors are open, the airflow changes and an alarm will sound. Correct this by closing some of the doors. Those doors are there to protect you. Along the wall opposite to the fume hoods is a common lab bench where chemicals and equipment will be laid out for the specific labs. Here you will find pipettes, thermometers, top loading balances, stirring rods, spatulas, etc. There is also an additional sink, and in the shelf above is various types of glassware, beakers, Erlenmeyer flasks, and volumetric flasks. And in the drawers below you can find pipettes organized by their volume. If a chemical spill occurs, it is most important that you immediately secure the area and alert the people around you and the instructor. Do not try to clean up the spill until your instructor tells you what to do. We have spill kits to absorb any liquids, but your instructor or the technologist must manage the cleanup. If you get a small amount of chemicals on your hands, wash them off right away at a sink. But if you spill a large amount of chemicals on your body, you will need to use the safety shower located at the instructor end of room 136 to the left of the fire extinguisher, and there's a lever in the wall to activate it. You would remove any contaminated clothing while you are under the shower. Should your hair catch fire, you would also use the shower after smothering the fire with a lab coat. The cold water would then be the first aid treatment for skin burns. If your clothing catches on fire, remember stop, drop, and roll. Somebody else can help you smothering the fire by using the fire blanket, and the next destination for you would be the safety shower to cool any burns. In case of a small fire, you find a fire extinguisher beside the glass wall to the hallway and beside the door to the balance room. After alerting everybody, anyone close to a fire extinguisher should grab it off the wall, stand back 7 to 10 feet, and then pull the pin, aiming at the base of the fire and squeezing the trigger while sweeping from side to side. If this does not extinguish the fire, do not look for another extinguisher but evacuate the building and pull the fire alarm. The nearest alarm and fire exit is in the side arm of the main hallway, and the outside door of the balance room or the side door of room 138 exit into that hallway. When you are evacuating, you need to shut off any gas that you're using for Bunsen burners. Do not pause to collect personal items, and someone has to press the large red buttons at the end of either side of each lab to shut off the electricity. To the right of the doorway to the analytical balance room is a cabinet containing a printer, and above is the first aid kit. If you cut yourself, it contains bandages to stop the bleeding and to protect the wound on your way to get medical attention. In case of a burn, you expose the burned area to cold water until you no longer feel any pain, so ideally under the faucet with a constant stream of cold water. In the area between both labs is a table with different kinds of rubber gloves in different sizes. Your lab procedure will inform you what type of glove is required to handle certain chemicals. Between the two labs is a fume hood that is used for hazardous waste. There's a white bucket for aqueous heavy metal solutions, and there are two jerry cans for halogenated hydrocarbons and non-halogenated hydrocarbons. Do not mix them up. Ask your instructor if you are unsure how to dispose of a substance, and do never assume anything is non-hazardous. Opposite the fume hood with the hazardous waste containers are the solid waste containers for glass, landfill, and recyclable items. There is also a broom and a dustpan for collecting broken glass. Between both labs at the instructor end is the doorway to the analytical balance room. These are very sensitive instruments, so make sure to follow the rules for their use and remember to never move an analytical balance. You will find an ice machine at the instructor end of lab 138 adjacent to the fume hoods, and as you can imagine, some people always forget to close the lid or they leave the scoop inside after they have removed some ice. Don't do that. At the instructor end of room 136 is a warming oven, and it is hot enough to require proper mitts to place anything into it or remove anything. And of course, it's crucial to close the door properly after using it. Some labs use desiccators, which are enclosed heavy glass containers that prevent chemicals from absorbing moisture. They contain a water-absorbent material, and their lids are graded and greased to provide a gas-tight seal. To open a desiccator, slide the lid to break the seal before lifting it. Then place the lid upside down on the benchtop so that the silicone grease does not have a chance to catch any dust. Each lab is equipped with a phone on the instructor's demonstration desk. You can reach security by dialing 3333, and to call 911 from this phone, you need to dial an extra 9 for an outside line first. 9 and then 911. This poster outlines the official procedures for fire, medical emergency, and active attacker situations. You will see it posted in prominent locations around the college. Take the time to read it. Remember, all incidents, regardless of how small they are, must be reported to the instructor. Even a small crack in some glass container requires to replace the item so that subsequent users are safe. You may now proceed to the D2L safety quiz, where a score of 100% is required, but you have an unlimited number of attempts to get that score.